Good morning. Let's see, today is February 8th. It's a Friday, I know that much. The Galloping Galoot. It's been a while, hasn't it? And where are we in all this shit? I cleared a milestone beginning of this week. Last year, back in May, I woke up one morning and I realized that I hadn't been hearing from a friend of mine for a while. She hadn't been putting anything out on Facebook, hadn't seen anything, heard anything. So I went looking. And I discovered she had died. Last year, February 3rd. That did a number on me. I guess you could say I sat down and I mourned. I waited for her year and a day before I added my eulogy to her online memorial. And it was very cathartic. I feel like a very heavy weight had been taken off of me. And we still have our marauding band of 4 cows running loose in the neighborhood. I don't know where they're getting out now, but they do. Well, there's only 3 this time. Nope, there's 4. Now, I don't know if she's going to do it, but Dobermans are working dogs, and they're very good at herding. I'd like to see what she's going to do. Because my first Dobe, she used to herd the neighborhood kids. Okay. Fucking dog. Oh, shit. Chases the birds off. Anyway, yeah, my friend. Her name was Candi. Candi Ekstrom. Originated in Chicago. In fact, she was part of the reason why I moved to Chicago. But Candi was a hairdresser. And she was a visionary. God, when did we meet? Oh, fuck. Back in the early mid-70s. And I was no longer doing hair. I was one of the first to get into, back then, what was called nail sculpturing. Sculpturing because that's exactly what you did. You had to sculpt the nail. You didn't have these plastic tips that you threw on and put some overlayment on. So, yeah, it took a little bit of talent, took a lot of focus. And she found me working in a salon, nail salon. I did her for a couple of months. And she had talked to me about coming to her salon, but I was happy where I was at because, you know, it's a specialty salon. So you know that people are going to go there because that's what they wanted. And then the manager of the salon, God, that's some history. She hooked up with this gigolo, I guess you could call him. That's all he was worth. And it just kind of soured. Because I saw what was happening. And suddenly, mutual responsibility became everybody else's job. There were words. And, well, I quit and they fired me. How's that? So anyway, I was sort of freaking out because I had two kids and a Doberman. You know, I had responsibilities. And it was a little bit harrowing. Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I think I contacted Candi. And she was all kinds of ecstatic. Long story short, I ended up in a corner in her salon doing the same thing I'd been doing. and I was my own boss. I booked my appointments, and took it from there. When I started with Hairbenders, oh shit, I think we had 9 employees at the start, which was kind of unheard of back then because, you know, everybody and her sister wanted to have their own salon. So you had these little Betty the Beautician shops. And they were like restaurants. They opened, they were there for a while, and then they closed down. But Candi understood there is strength in numbers. Cool screwdriver. So over the course of the years, we grew. And we grew. Candi knew and understood that we had to be out there. We had to be front and center. We had to be made known. We had to keep that reputation up. We had to present ourselves in a professional manner. Shit, we had a lot of work required. And twice a year, here in the state of Florida, they have 2, I guess you could call it, back then we did, beauty conventions, you know. It was a convention for the trade, and they held competitions. We started winning, and we kept winning. Now back then there were no competitions for what I did, so I was part of the support team. Hairbenders grew and grew and grew to where the one generous storefront that was the salon had to expand, and there was only one way to go, and that was up. But the construction logistics weren't there. So if you can't go up, you got to go out. And or I should say Candi, expanded to the next empty storefront beside us. And more people came. I moved into the new space, I had my own cubby hole. I guess you could call it that. I had my own phone. You know, I was greater than I was before. So, you know, I'm part of the family. I'm part of the team. This is the way it is. It was a good run. It got to a point where Hairbenders walked away with the lion's share of awards. I mean, you know, they got 25 competitions out there on the convention, and Hairbender walks away with 22, 23 of them. That did not come easy, because we had to stay on top. We had to know what was current. We had to know the techniques. We had to present them with flair. Well, y'all just don't understand unless you've been there. One example. One of our stylists, lovely guy, he wasn't going to compete because he didn't have a model. He really didn't have a vision, is what it broke down to. And he was in one of the upscale department stores and saw one of the sales girls. And there it was. It's like an epiphany, a vision, whatever. So he invited her to the salon and asked, he had asked her if she would be interested in modeling. She said yes. He invited her to the salon, and that got the ball rolling. There was only one thing. When you have so many people working and you only have 3 days until game time, that puts a lot of pressure on you. Well, me being the only person who did nails, I was busy 24/7 when it got close to competition. And Robbie's model had stubs. Which is okay. Because when I got done with her, she had long, gorgeous nails. And back then, at that point in time, the style was the real sharp pointed ones, reminiscent of the 40s. They were red with the half moon. And back then I kicked it up a notch. Instead of the natural half moon, I did white. So it was a stark contrast. and very noticeable. So, everybody schlepped themselves up to Jacksonville. No, excuse me. That was a Chicago show. By then we had expanded to not only just the 2 shows in Florida, but to New York and Chicago. So anyway, I went home to recuperate, and the team went off to Chicago. The salon was closed on Mondays so that everybody had a weekday off in order to take care of everyday business, doctor appointments, whatever's. So I walk into my space the following Tuesday morning, and there is this huge glass vase just exploding with red roses. Okay, that's not uncommon. And it's not uncommon for my table to be used as a catch-all when I'm not there. So, I just take the roses and plop them up on top of the half wall next to me and go about my business. A couple hours later, Candi and Robbie and half the salon comes up during a close period, and I learned that I had scored a 100 on my little, on my little part in what I did for this one model. And I really, I don't put a whole lot into things like that. Not effort it. I mean, not, a lot of hopes and delusions and things like that. Well, come on, Cleo. Stay close by. So anyway, I scored a 100, and I learned through Candi that the judges had never given a model, a contestant, that kind of a score on their models. At best, it was 99. Come on, Cleo. Good girl. So, that came as a real surprise, because I just threw on some temporaries to get her through the weekend and hoped and prayed she didn't pop any off. I didn't even know about the scoring situation. So yeah, I made a mark. But like I said, Candi was always there. Come Christmas time, every year, she would book a hotel somewhere, I don't know, Lauderdale, wherever here in Florida, Miami. They would be small, reasonably modest hotels, but you know, hey, it's a 3-story hotel, got its own pool, and it's our hotel for the weekend. We partied. And we partied hard. Cleo, you don't belong there. Come on, baby. So, yeah, it was family. It was camaraderie. And it was, I don't want to say brotherhood because that is very gender specific. So I guess family will have to do. But we were there for everybody. And then I got it in my head to move up to Chicago, you know? And because Candi was from Chicago, and she did the Chicago shows, she helped me out by giving me a stellar reference. And I I took full advantage of it. Unfortunately, not everybody ran their business like Candi did. And things started to go south. So I parted ways with the company. They had 11 salons. And I just went independent, which worked for me. And when I came back to Florida years later, I stopped by to say hello. And Candi asked me if I wanted a job. Bless her heart. Yeah, I may be dumb at times, but I ain't stupid. I was back in the fold. It was a good run. I eventually moved down here to Naples, and you know, I We didn't have Facebook back then, but eventually I got on Facebook and there was Candi. So we were back together again, and you gotta understand, I'm not one of these clingy type people. So it was a case of, hey, how are you? What you doing? How's the world treating you? So on and so forth. There, but not so much in it. And Candi had developed cancer. She went through the chemo and she went through the treatments, because hers was a different kind of cancer. It was blood afflicted. And, she went into that battle like she did every other challenge. She was going to come out a winner. And for a while she did. But it didn't last. And her cancer resurrected itself. It came back. It flared up again, rebloomed, whatever. She wasn't free and clear of it. But she didn't lose her fight. Unfortunately, Candi lost that battle. This happens, Well, there's a lot of people to cancer. And Candi Ekstrom was one of them. Like I said, that happens. But I never heard about it. I didn't know. I didn't see anything or on Facebook. Nobody messaged me. It just kind of slipped by. Until I woke up one morning and went looking. Well, I'm on my computer every day. So when I go in, there's this opening page, and it's not Google, it's Firefox. They have a little thing where you can save, you have your top 5 or 6 sites that you go to, and then underneath there are 8 spots where you can hold on to bookmarked places. Well, for the past year, every day when I opened up my computer and got online, there was this bookmark spot with Candi's name and a memorial flame. Every day, I was reminded of her passing. And every day, I thought of our friendship and our association. And every day, I was reminded, not everybody makes it. So far, I'm one of those who has. And I lost a great friend. So upon that year and a day, like I said, I went and placed my eulogy. And it wasn't a burden, but it was a weight that I carried. I've been able to let go. And I've gotten up and I'm moving on. I got shit to do. But no matter how many times I have closed that bookmarked window, it still keeps coming back. It's a little bit further down the line now, instead of being first or second, but it's still there. And I'm going to leave it because that's Candi. You know, come on, Cleo. Come over this way, baby. We might not be together, but we're still there. Ours was a friendship where you could be apart for years, not even speak to each other. But when you walk through the door, there you are, right back where you started from. I miss you, Candi, and I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. But we'll carry on. I got things to do, don't I? So, that's the story of Candi Ekstrom and me. But I want you to know, that woman made an impact on the industry and on so many lives who were a part of it. So, what's going on now? Well, I guess you guys are just going to have to wait and see, because well, I got more weather, and I'm going to leave it at that for now. That'll be another story, another walk, and well, another day. So I'm going to let you guys go here so I can pick up my pace and not put out such a lengthy video again. So y'all take care, be well, and ride safe. Love you.